guys, and welcome back. This is ChosenArchitect, and today we're jumping into a brand new mod pack called FTB Skies. So, I hope you guys are ready. Now, right off the bat, we start on this amazing ship. I mean, just take a look at this ship. It is fantastic, but this is our starting hub. We need to make our way over to the portal, and this is where we are going to have our options for how to choose our sky. You can see it says the journey begins here, and when we pop in, we get the option between an FTB Sky Island, which looks a little bit like this, and then we also have the anti-Sky Island, which looks like this. We also have the minimalist Sky Island, which looks like this. And we have the chosen Sky Island, my island, that looks like this. And then we also have the compact Sky Island, which looks like this. And then even has a compact machine. And here's the inside of it. Now, starting out, we are going to be choosing the chosen Sky Island. And let's go ahead and create our world, and let's see what biome we get. Hopefully it's a good biome. Oh, it's perfect. We're on a plains biome. This thing is fantastic. So here we are. This is an island we built on our Twitch live stream. If you haven't checked that out, twitch.tv/ChosenArchitect. You can usually find me there throughout the week. And we spent some time putting this island together for this mod pack. Pretty awesome that they were able to add this. And I really do appreciate the FTB team for allowing that to happen, and also just putting this pack together in general. The FTB team does a lot of hard work putting together these packs, and they always seem to be of such high quality, in my opinion. So what do we do when we get started with this? Well, first things first is you guys can click that subscribe button. We are getting so close to 600,000 subscribers, on our way to that 1,000,000 mark, and I can't do it without you. So if you would click that subscribe button, I would really appreciate it. Now the real fun begins with chopping down our trees. What exactly do we do here? We must chop the trees down, right? Oh, look, also we have a bee spawned right away. This is actually one of the many mechanics that this pack has to offer. And this bee, if you remember, if you did follow along with Stone Block 3, this was a mechanic of that as well. Now let's hope that this bee actually drops some stuff for us, and in the process, I guess we can go ahead and harvest a tree. Now we start off with a few things such as a quest book. We get ourselves some apples for some food, which is always fantastic. Oh yeah, if you just noticed, by the way, we do have Vein Miner. I didn't use it there, just to be able to say that we do have it. And it's the key underneath your escape key called the grave key. You hold that bad boy down, and we're going to be using that a lot today. We are going to be using that a lot. Now you may notice there's a little thing over here, a faucet from supplementaries. That's sort of odd, right? there's a faucet, there's a dead tree. I almost wonder if there's some sort of lore on this island, and you'd be correct if you thought that, because I in fact did set up this really cool lore. And look, there's a framed trap door right here, right underneath this tree. Look, nice and hidden here. Very cool. And if we chop this down, there is a shulker box in here with a little bit of a book and some useful tools that we're going to need. And oh yeah, I'm also recording this on April Fools. How convenient, as you can see with chat. Yeah, we're getting trolled right now. They spawned in a chance cube? No. Good luck. No, you can't. I have 400 ticks. That's it? What? Where did it spawn it? No. We can't have a world ender right from the start. No way. I mean, I've literally... They're rejoining. Oh, okay. It's April Fools. Get it? Get it? Anyways, I thought that was a fun thing whenever I experienced that earlier. But anyways, let's get into the lore book, actually. So inside here, the Island of the Endless Stream. So if we dive into here, we can start. There once was a floating island where a civilization once thrived with life and abundance thanks to a mystical faucet gifted by the chosen gods. The people were able to cultivate a lush and vibrant oasis, draining water endlessly from the faucet. But as the years passed, they became reliant on the Faucet, forgetting the ways of nature and neglecting the world beyond their island. Despite their isolation, the people thrived on the island, but their lack of curiosity and innovation left them stagnant. They could have explored the world and discovered. Instead, they remained content in their artificial paradise. Long after the last of the island's inhabitants had passed into the aether, the mysteries of the island and its legendary faucet remain. Can new adventurers unravel its secrets? I think today we are going to unravel said secrets. Now, inside this chest, we do get a few things. We get an Easter egg. We're going to use that later on, I hope. We get a backpack, a charm of levitation, an iron wand, and a trowel. How useful. We also have some cobweb, which may prove to be a little bit useful. I'm going to put this back for right now. We'll mine that later. We need to get the rest of these trees cleaned up here. And also probably plant some saplings. We do not have the ability to like shift grow. So planting the saplings so that way they can grow is definitely a must do. And this island gives you plenty of room to grow that. Whereas many of the other starter islands, you might have a limited amount of space to get some trees growing. So speaking of the quest book, let's go ahead and open that up. By default, we're granted with FTB Skies. Welcome to FTB Skies. Welcome to FTB Skies, a new skyblock pack for 1.19.2 that will continue on into the future versions of Minecraft. So hopefully we'll have series of these, which will be kind of cool, and definitely stay along that upgrade path. These quests are entirely optional, but help guide you through the adventures in your skyblock world. And when I say optional, I recommend using the quest book, especially throughout the early game chapters. So let's go ahead and accept this. And we do get an abilities bottle, which is something very, very cool that I have played with in prior mod packs. Now you see we have tons of quests here. And I believe there's more still being worked on, as I'm currently playing a beta version of the pack. By the time you guys get access to this mod pack, you guys will be playing the full release. So there might be some changes. As of right now, this is the questing guide, and it's already been reworked since the first time I played this. So expect some changes. Now look here, we get an observation, we get a bee, we get a poppy. I don't know if my bee is still around, but we can grab it. It definitely tells us to do this. We can hopefully get this bee to follow us. Okay. Yeah. So this bee will be kind of cool. This will be our pet. Let's go ahead and tether it. I believe it's already dropped its loot, but it might have dropped it on the outer skirts. But you get this lead, which makes it really, really handy for you to capture the bee early on. But we might be able to use this thing for honeycombs later on. Now, our first quest of the night says stringing you along, flax on, flax off. Starting in some of the worlds, you do get flax seeds. In this particular starter island, we do not get flax seeds. We have to instead find flax seeds in some form or another. But we do have access to string, which we can go ahead and get started with right now. Now, to harvest string, if you do not know, it is as simple as making yourself a sword. So let's go ahead and craft ourselves a regular wooden sword, and we should be able to harvest this string that is over here. How convenient, right? So now that we have some string, we can actually move along in the quest. And now we get flax seeds, right? So we can get some flax seeds right off the bat. Thankfully, there was a dead tree that happened to be here from that long forgotten civilization. They must have forgot to water this tree, and it just slowly ended up dying. So now a few other useful tips that we are going to need to know about are the random events that happen, and you can toggle these off if you do not like them. There are a few events that are going to be really, really helpful to you, but like things like getting a stick or a tea every now and then may become annoying to some people, and you can definitely run a command to toggle those off. Now, if you plan on playing this in multiplayer, which we will, once the pack is released, we will be having a supporter server that will be open to those who support. And if you want to play together with your friends, there are the FTB commands that allow you to invite each other. This is what this page talks about. And you're able to visit each other's island using these commands. And then, of course, the top section also mentions shaders. I'm currently using the shader that comes packed with the pack itself. However, I have customized a few of the settings. And if you'd like to see those settings, be sure to join the Discord. And on the Discord, I'm going to have a link to my settings over there so you can just copy and paste them or import them into your own world. You'll find that setting pinned in the general chat. By completing this one, we get a dye seed and a little bit more XP. And that's the whole first row of our getting started page done. Now, I think it is important that you complete at least this first page. This will allow you to start just about anything so long as we get this first section done. Now, making a string mesh, very, very simple, and that is going to be part of our first set of quests. And we can just take some sticks and we'll make ourselves a string mesh. Now, we can't use a string mesh just yet because we are going to need a sifter. Now, the sifter, very, very cheap as well. And if you want to pin things to the left-hand side, you can hover over it while you have this enabled and open. You can hit A to add this to your bookmarks. And the bookmarks are very handy, especially for crafting. So you can just go ahead and click and say, what do I need? Click on it, add it to your bookmarks. So when you go into your crafting table, it's a lot easier to figure out exactly what we're going to be setting up. Now, you may have noticed we're going to need cobblestone. We will have a hand crank here, but we are going to need cobblestone. And the way you actually get cobblestone in this pack is by crouching, then right-clicking the ground. And by doing this, we are going to get a few different types of things, right? We're going to get these clumps of soil, and we're going to also get these rocks. And then the rocks are going to allow us to combine and make cobblestone. The clumps of soil will allow us to get dirt, all of which are things that we are going to definitely need getting started. Now, remember over here, we had this shulker box. Well, let me make a pick real quick, and we should be able to grab this. And I'm going to make a pick utilizing what we currently have. And there's our basic stone pick. And then right here, I can go ahead and harvest our shulker box. Or at least I should be able to harvest the shulker box. There we go. And that'll give us our first little bit of storage. That'll be super handy so we don't end up with all of our inventory just completely filled. Now, I guess as far as other storage goes, we did get a backpack from Sophisticated Backpacks, and we can equip that into our backpack slot. And now if we hit B, or you have to configure this into your keybinds, because I think there are some conflicting keybinds, but if you remove everything else from B, you should be able to hit B while it's in your backpack slot to open it up, thus giving you even more inventory slots. Now, with our quest complete for getting ourselves some rock, we can go ahead and get ourselves a pet rock. And we need to take this rock right here and smelt it down, and that should allow us to be able to tame our pet rock. And it has an egg on top of it. I think I don't know if they have a chance of getting a random hat, but there's definitely an egg on there. Now, to tame this guy, which we are going to call Ron the Rock Swanson, that we definitely came up with that name during the stream. It's Ron. Yeah, it's going to be Ron the Rock Swanson. He's going to be our best bud. He's going to be chilling around, hanging out. Hopefully he doesn't die. But we're going to need some of this stonium in order to get started. I think we can turn this into oak planks and get more of that. Hopefully, maybe one of these will tame it. Oh, we got it on the first one. It doesn't always happen on the first one, but you can see the smile there. And once we get a name tag, we are totally going to name this fella Ron the Rock Swanson. That's right, my spirit animal. Now, down in the comments, I would love to see what you guys want to name this bee. We might keep this bee through the entire series, and hopefully nothing bad happens to this bee. But yeah, let me know down in the comments what we should name, something clever that we should name. And in the next episode, I will take the user. I'll definitely display the comment and all that fun stuff here on the channel. And I'd love to see what you guys vote for. Definitely be sure to like the comments down there. And I will definitely go for the top voted comment, so long as it's appropriate anyways. Now, I think it's time to go ahead and craft up our hand crank. So we'll get our hand crank ready to go. And then the sifter, and I think as a reward, we get more sifters, we get some more hoppers, which are going to be fantastic. Now, we do not have a cog just yet, because the cog comes down here. So we need to also craft ourselves a hammer, and this will allow us to turn cobblestone into gravel, and then gravel into sand, and then sand into dust, if you're familiar with a lot of skyblocks that used ex nihilo. Except for we're going to be using a little bit of create instead of ex nihilo. And here's our sifter. And our quest should almost be complete, because we actually need to complete these sections as well, and then this section in order to unlock this fully and allow us to be able to get this. So we are still going to need our hammer, And searching that up, you'll be able to see we need a little bit of cobblestone for this. Boop, there we go. And now we've got that completed, right? And we'll get ourselves a cog. That is super handy. We need to also make at least one of each of the different material types. So if I go ahead and break this down, see, we get gravel, and then gravel then turns into sand, and sand then into dust. And we now have that complete, and we get a bunch of it in return. I have to say, out of all of the sort of mod packs, sky mod packs that I've started, this is probably the least grindiest. I think you could probably, if you were pushing yourself through this, you could get it done in less than an hour, I think, which is going to be one of the fastest starts to a skyblock mod pack that I think I have ever played. This quest says, I'm twerked about twerk. And it says, squat no grow. Dancing around your trees doesn't seem to encourage growth. Oh man, contrary to all the standard botanical knowledge. Really, there are plentiful sources of bone meal. Either make some in a composter or sift it from dust. And yes, yeah, we can go ahead and make a composter because it's super, super simple to make. And there's our composter. And of course, setting this up is super simple, but look, we get all of the ingredients to set this up effortlessly. And with that, we have completely unlocked this, thus gifting us even more resources. Boy, you can tell it's April Fool's because press Alt F4 to cheat this item. From Industrial foregoing. Yes, I love this. This is hilarious. Now I'm currently working on setting up our composter, and I got the reward barrel down here, which the bone wheel will go, and these wooden hoppers. Now, don't think these wooden hoppers are slow by any means. They are incredibly fast. If we take some of our organic material and put it in here, you can see it put all of that already in there. Now it would take several different passes. That was 3. Usually it would go tick, 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 but no, it's instant on this. It is, these wooden hoppers are incredibly fast. Oh, I'm starting to get kind of hungry, and I figured this nightshade would be pretty good to eat, right? Yeah, yeah, nothing could be bad about eating nightshade, right? It seemed like a pretty, okay, don't eat nightshade then. So I think at this point, it is time for the real magic to happen. And that is going to be us actually starting our sifter. And I think the best way to sort of set this up early on is going to be 2 chests here. We'll go ahead and place the hoppers on the back to get our even distribution. And then we take our sifters. Now we are given 5. We'll use those later on. But early on, you really only need 2. And we'll place this and then the 2 wooden hoppers on top. Now we are going to need our mesh. So I went ahead and made another mesh, place those on top of the sifters. And then on top of this, we will place in our chests. So now when we put the materials, they will evenly disperse. Now we're going to need to power this. And at the moment, we just get to power it with our hands. So we can place ourselves a cogwheel and then place the hand crank on here. Just like that. You can place it on the top or bottom. It doesn't matter. Now spinning this is going to consume your hunger. So if I go ahead and put down some gravel, automatically we're going to get gravel going into here. And you can see the gravel is being processed. This is quite a fun little animation that happens. But we should be looking for iron nuggets. And by the default, we just get 4 iron nuggets, which may be a little concerning because that's all we get is like iron nuggets. That's kind of crazy. Well, we're going to be upgrading this really, really quick. So the iron nuggets, we then get andesite alloy as a result. And this also means we can get andesite from our sieving process. Now, to make the mesh, it's as simple as just taking what was given to us, the andesite alloy, and using that to upgrade our mesh. So instead of string, we are going to use something else. You could also use this to make a water wheel. Now, the water wheel does require the andesite alloy because you're going to need to make the shafts. And so you could technically take the extra that you get here and just make water wheels, and then you'll have this process automated while you can do other things. I think what I'm going to do, instead of just jumping into the water wheel, I think it'll be more effective for me to just make the andesite mesh right away and then make ourselves the automation, because we were actually given something very interesting at the start, and that was an Easter egg. And we wonder, what does this mean? Well, let's go ahead and place it down. Oh no, ChosenArchitect, something happened. They're multiplying. And yes, they are. You can see there's more and more. Now, this also gives us a chance to talk about this. You see that guy over there that is glowing and this one that's glowing? These are very important and you should probably kill them because they're going to drop ability totems that we will use later on in our adventures. So let's kill the ones that are glowing and make them a priority so they don't jump off the island because we want those ability totems. But yes, we have tons of rabbits now and I definitely recommend, you know, slaughtering them for consumption because it's going to take a little bit of food to get us started in this. Now with another civilization gone and we're the only ones left, well, let's take a look at what all we got. It looks like there's also a nice little present over here. Okay, so we got tons of rabbit hide, but here was our main thing. We got these ability totems, and so we ended up getting 3 speed totems and a haste totem. We'll save those for later, but those are going to be used inside of the ability bottle once we have some more experience. We should be able to click on these, I believe, for example, speed, and we would be able to learn this. I think we can actually add this right now, and there we go. We already have a decent speed right off the bat. We just get given speed for free. Like, it's not for free, but we do get this. It did come at a cost. And we, I believe, can upgrade this currently. Right now, we don't have enough experience, but when we do, we'll be able to use that. Oh, right here. There's another bee. Hopefully it stays over here, though, because I don't have another lead. I guess the best way to get these things to come over would be to just use this and to just either stand and wait or, yeah, I think just to pull it towards you. Yeah, there you go. Oh my gosh, we just got an artifact? Applies an extra level of looting to kill in it. Oh my gosh, we could have used that. That would have been fantastic. It's dropping even more stuff. We got an energetic sheep egg. Yes. A chance cube? These guys are the best, and using this flower is probably the best way to obtain the loot from this thing. Now, back to making the meshes. We will go ahead and apply these. And these meshes are way, way better than the ones we just had. So if we place this in and we continue to process our gravel, instead of just getting a couple pieces of nugget, we should get way more than that. So just one process alone got us coal, raw, 2 raw, tin, nickel, and we should even get full iron. And we are now getting a lot more resources and a lot more bang for our buck for this gravel. Now, because we made the andesite mesh, we also get ourselves a bucket. Now, at the moment, we only have a single water source, right? We have this block that is waterlogged, and that's really all we have. Except for we do have a faucet. Now, if you know how a faucet works, this is where the magic of the faucet really shines. Now, this faucet comes from a mod called Supplementaries, and inside of Supplementaries, the faucet has many functions, but one of its functions is to be able to fill jars. And so we should be able to craft a jar with a little bit of glass, and we should be able to get some handed to us, right? I think this will be a fantastic way of starting, unless you know where a secret is. So if you have watched this video and you know the secret, well, then you're just an OG Chosen Architect viewer, and I appreciate you guys for watching. So because of you watching, you will know that there is a frame trap door right here with a jar pre-made. And so we can break this jar, and we now have access to a jar with a little bit of water in it to kind of indicate that there's water. But if we place it down right here by shift clicking, we can then start to fill this jar with an unlimited amount of water. And now that faucet in that lore really starts to make sense. What we can do is we can go ahead and start hydrating our area and actually filling back in what was lost, right? Because all of this used to be an aqueduct that ran through the area, providing water to all of our trees and crops and everything else. So with all of the water filled in, now anytime we just need a bucket of water, guess what? A lot of this turns into a source block now. and makes it super convenient. You know, you don't want to have to go over to the same spot over and over again to get your water. You can just grab it right here. And this water is going to allow us to automate this process. So I just consumed some fish stew, and in doing so, I actually gained a couple of hearts. Now, the more variety of food that you consume in this pack, the more hearts you will eventually have. And very, very helpful, especially later on, since there are some boss things in this pack, believe it or not. Just a few more things to do before getting this fully automated, and that is going to be making andesite alloy. We need to make 2 of these, and we had just enough, and we're given andesite to make ourselves some shafts, and then we can just make ourselves a water wheel. So we do need a large cog, and the cogs are so much easier to make in this. There's a large cog, and then we surround that cog to make a water wheel. And very, very simple with just some simple slabs. We then have ourselves a means of automating, and we can set this up right here. I know next episode we are going to be having, we're going to set up a more robust system, but just to sort of demonstrate an easy and simple way of doing this, all you have to do is dig out like this, but you just need to get yourself a little 3x3 area. Very, very simple. Place this in, make sure to block an area off, and then use that new bucket of water that you got, and we can go ahead and get this spinning. And yes, these can go in this way, so you can lay them down flat if you didn't know that. And all we have to do is just connect things back together. Pretty straightforward. I think our cog went in our hopper. These hoppers can pull from the side with just a little bit, which is kind of interesting. But there we go. So now this process is basically automated. Now, I think at this point, it would be a good idea to talk about how to actually waterlog these things, because there are a few things that can be waterlogged. So let's take this side, for example. You can leave the bottom connected the way it is, but this side, we're actually going to want to waterlog. And the way we're going to go about doing that is we're going to place some blocks, and then we're just going to place water right there. So thankfully we have water. Let's place some water right here. And then place our sifter inside here. And then on the front, we can block off that water. And this will actually retain the water inside of it, which is super useful. May even be useful for making cobblestone generators and things like that in the future. But now this side, we want to make sure that only this chest is linked to it. So we'll hold down Shift when we place it. And now we have a waterlog side and we have a regular side. And then we can go ahead and put the andesite mesh back on. And it does tell us in the quest right here that there are some things that can be waterlogged. And I believe that it is specifically sand that can be waterlogged in this fashion. It'll tell you right here that this is waterlogged and the type of mesh depending on what will give you what, right? So if we take our sand and we now put it in here, we should start to get some of those items. And notice it's a little bit slower than you doing it by hand here, but it's automated, and that's what matters, right? Is we don't have to sit here. We can farm the blocks while this is processing. All good, right? So what do we do next? Well, next would be troubleshooting. If you encounter any problems where you put something into the chest and it's not going in, well, it might be stuck inside the wooden hoppers. It doesn't have an inventory you can access. There might be an item stuck in it that can't go into the sifter. So simply break the wooden hopper, and then you'll be able to allow the stuff to go back through. Very simple problem solving that I figure a few people will probably encounter at some point. So after gathering all of the remaining items, there we go. We have our clay that we get as a bonus, some redstone we get as a bonus for sifting the dust that we got as a reward. And now this right here is for sifting dirt. So dirt can be obtained via the method that we were talking about earlier. And if we sieve some of this, we'll hopefully get ourselves some grass, which will allow us to plant some grass on our island. And we can sift this after the dust goes through. Dirt is also how you're going to primarily get your andesite chunks and all of that stuff needed for other starter islands, such as the compact machine. You're going to need to get andesite in this particular way at some point. And so, you know, sieving dirt is going to be the way to do that. But there we go. We got ourselves some pasture seeds. And as a reward, we actually get a golden egg, which is just insane that we get this as a reward. If you want mobs to be able to spawn, you're going to need that. So let's go ahead and get some grass growing, and this will actually spread quite a bit. And if we place down the golden egg, which I'm not going to do right now, we'll save this for a farm later on. But this golden egg will just spawn passive mobs over time and can spawn things like drigmies and other things from like the Rs mod. So definitely a way, especially if you want a drigme early on. Another fantastic thing is you get a silk touch shovel with mending on it right from the start. And oh, it's so useful for being able to pick up dirt and moving it. And I believe you can even pick up the delightful dirt that is generated as well with your silk touch shovel. Now that is going to be it for today. And guys, be sure to click that subscribe button, because next episode we are going to be diving even further into this and getting things such as lava and many other things, maybe even get into some new modded machines and maybe picking our magic mod for the start. Now here's something new that I want to try, and I don't know, you guys may be interested in this, but I want to know, what starting island are you going to be picking? Let me know down in the comments below. I would love to hear from you guys. Of course, it's that time, and the time to thank the supporter of today's video. And guys, that is going to be a huge thanks going out to Fairison. Thank you so much for your amazing support, by the way, over on the Discord, becoming a Discord premium member and supporting in one of the best ways possible. Guys, if you're interested in supporting, of course, all you have to do is join the Discord, as I mentioned earlier, and check out all of the premium options, such as subservers. Like I said, we are going to have a subserver that is going to be launching for this upon release of the mod pack. So be sure to get hyped for that. And of course, get hyped for this mod pack. I can't wait to see what all you guys come up with and all of your cool builds. And of course, as always, thanks for watching. Is that dead bunnies I smell on your hands? How could you kill them?